Okay. Did we figure something out? Did we figure something out? I wonder. Are we live though? I don't know if we're live. Okay, we are live. Okay, good. All right, we are live. I'm going to try and get the chat up and going, guys. Okay, all right. Oh, we are cooking with gas now. All right, we figured it out. We are good to go. We got to figure it out, guys. Alrighty. So, sorry for the headache, guys. I am very new to this, and I'm still figuring it out, as we say here. So, make sure we're all good here. Okay. Seems like we are good to go. Can everyone hear me all right? Go ahead, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if we're good to go on the audio. Just want to make sure that we're good. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I don't know if that's just me or... Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if... Okay. All right. So audio is good. We're good to go. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. The suspect was found.
Now have more information.
The suspect was found and named as Tyler Robinson. Just a quick recap of the last 4 or 5 hours. I was trying to do a live and just had a bunch of headaches with it, and so finally figured it out. So here we are. But back to the situation. Tyler Robinson is the suspect that is the shooter of Charlie, and so we're gonna go ahead and take a couple of looks at we're gonna be watching a few videos here because there's quite a few things that I really want to talk with you guys about, and so we're gonna go ahead and get into that.
And we now have more information about this suspect. We have a name to tell you, and this is according to multiple sources and our team of reporters covering federal law enforcement, Tom Winter, Mike Cosner, our colleagues. Tyler Robinson is the suspect in custody. He is from Utah. He's in custody and with state authorities in Utah, born in 2003. And so Tyler Robinson is the name that, according to multiple sources, is the suspect who is in custody. From our reporting, we understand he has been in custody for a number of hours now. And what happens with that, as Morgan was just saying, there was a point where authorities knew very little about who this person was. Well, once you have an individual identified, many new doors open. Tyler Robinson will now be subject to having all of his electronics reviewed, subject to a search warrant, and that would be the typical process now, that once he's identified and in custody, authorities are able to get the court permission to execute search warrants. That could be places where he lives, seizing any phones, digital footprint, any of those things. Also checking the records for the purchase of the weapon that was used here? Can they tie that weapon to him? All of those avenues are now open to federal authorities. This is a state crime, not a federal crime on its face, meaning a murder is a state crime. They would be looking for any avenues that allow them to find some kind of federal charge, if there is one that's applicable and appropriate, to add to this case with the joint work of federal authorities and state authorities. Tyler Robinson is the suspect, according to our sources.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories.
That's absolutely insane. And they had no idea. They had absolutely no idea of what just happened. Let me fix my camera here. So audio is good. We're good to go.
Federal law enforcement, Tom Winter, Mike Cosner.
Okay. All right. Just making sure one last time that we're good on the audio here. All right. So this is really what I wanted to talk with you guys about today, right here. And then we'll kind of check on Bo's live and see what all's going on over there. He might have some more information for us, but I kind of want to dive a little bit into his video from, was it yesterday, I think? No, it was today. And so a lot of interesting things were being said, actually. And one thing to really note is that as heightened or as heightened as our emotions are, we have to stay calm. We have to absolutely stay calm. And so we can't let our emotions override our decision making. So, that being said, do be careful with everywhere that you go, of course. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get into what Bo said earlier.
Welcome back, guys. Now that we've had some time pass in between what's been going on and emotions are starting to wind down, we're starting to see, I saw now on CNN that they're worried about chilling threats from young MAGA and asking to tone down the rhetoric, the very rhetoric that has emboldened these kinds of attackers from the left. It's so hypocritical. We are truly at a turning point, for lack of a better word, in regards to what we've all witnessed in the past few days. I don't understand how incompetent the FBI could be. How is it possible that this person with all this camera footage that's being released cannot be identified positively? Nothing, no good tips, nothing. All the information that we have coming out has been pretty much the work of people online, anonymous accounts on 4chan or whatever it is. They're doing the heavy lifting, finding out the social media accounts, the post, everything. What is the point of having Palantir in this Orwellian, authoritative monstrosity of a police state that we're trying to usher in? What is the point of all this technology that's going to be used to track Americans? We're on a very slippery slope here as this development continues over the next course of a few days, even weeks, months, maybe even a year. Because there will be a conversation that will begin in regards to government reach and powers and needing the government to protect us from the loonies, either on the left or the loonies on the right, crazy people in general, doesn't matter what political group you're from. but there will be people demanding protection, demanding censorship, demanding that social media companies and online platforms step in to silence those. I think that is a mistake long term. I think
I would definitely have to agree with Bo there. Uh, we have this habit of, and I know I'm also guilty of this at a point in time or two, but we're all guilty of getting very emotional when we hear something that we don't like, especially as disrespectful and as vile as, you know, the guy that was on the scooter yesterday that was driving by the crowd and screaming, "Fuck Charlie Kirk." But here's the thing: as pissed off as we get, we can't. We one thing that we cannot do is we can't then beg for the opposition to be silenced, just as, you know, we were either, you know, moderate or right leaning, you know, because it's not going to do anything, because Charlie said it best. He said that when talking stops, violence begins. And I do believe, I will say that I honestly believe that we are definitely at the point where the violence does begin. I don't want that to be. I don't like that idea. I really hate that idea as someone who has seen a lot of violence, seen a lot of death. I don't think any of us would really want that, right? But as history has shown us time and time again, well, we're kind of at that point, especially with, I would say, probably one of the last voices to reach across the other side and have an honest conversation. So that's what's really terrifying about the whole situation. It really is. Because, you know, you would expect people to start treating each other with humility. But obviously we're shown every single day that that's just not the case. I really wish it was, but unfortunately it's just not. And so I don't condone unnecessary violence at all, right? But it does seem at this point in time, you know, we have to defend ourselves, because the people of the opposition are more than happy to harm you or take your life simply for what you believe in. And so, you know, we have to make sure that we are prepared to protect ourselves and our families, because they don't care about us at all.
I think if you trade your security for protection, you deserve none. You deserve no freedom if you trade that in. What issue we have here is that we got to finally see in a mask off moment. We've seen this plenty of times before, but never such a high profile case such as this one of somebody being assassinated. That was a moderate conservative, that all he did was talk, nothing inflammatory, truly despicable, never called for violence, simply had a conversation, changed my mind, was publicly executed in such a fashion that everybody got to see. And disturbing reports coming out that his daughter was somewhere nearby, heard the gunshots, of course, was scared by the loud noise and tried to run to her father as he was bleeding out, because some deranged lunatic couldn't agree with the words that were being said, that you deserve to perish. Now, the left-wing media has been amplifying these kind of messages. The left or liberal Online forums have been amplifying and hardening these kinds of messaging, these stances, as I've said earlier. And there has been a conceited effort by even conservatives and some of the more far-right individuals to advocate for calming down the tension. And I understand and I agree with tensions need to be calmed down, take a second, no calls to violence. But the reality in the world is, idealistically, that will not happen. I'm not calling for violence. I'm just simply stating what will happen. We will have, as a reaction to this, and we've seen the mask off moment of the liberals showing themselves with a vitriol and the hatred that they have for anybody that does not condone their messaging. You are labeled an enemy. We saw it with Dean Withers. He literally just cried, showed some emotion. This kid that probably does not agree with a vast majority of what Charlie Kirk or the conservative side of America has to say whatsoever, simply by being a human being and expressing his emotion at a father being massacred in front of the world.
Yeah, in front of his family too. That's the most despicable part about this whole thing, is that it happened right in front of his family. You know, I didn't know about the situation apparently where his daughter was trying, or his daughter was trying to run up to him. Oh man, that I think when she really understands, when she comes to an age where she really understands what happened, that just might scar her for the rest of her life. That is absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I'm kind of lost for words at this point.
The world, already forced to apologize by those on the left, forced to walk back his stance in a way that you shouldn't feel bad for somebody spewing that kind of hate. Can you imagine?
See, that's another thing too, is in these why is it that people today are so devoid of humanity? I genuinely find myself asking that question almost every single day. Because you had Withers was, genuinely against almost every single thing that Kirk was, but he still had that humanity and showed emotion. I saw his reaction. He still showed remorse. Well, I mean, not remorse, but sadness, and was giving his condolences in that video. And people were jumping on him for showing humanity, showing humility. Listen, on one hand, obviously we shouldn't resort to violence, only when necessary, through self-defense. On another hand, listen, you cannot reason with these people. You can't do it. You can't. There is no reasoning with these people. They will refuse to listen to what anything you have to say. And it's not the conversation being shut down, because obviously we are the ones, right, the moderates and the right-leaning, who are wanting to extend to talk, right, to find common ground. It's the other side that doesn't. They are the ones that are violent. They are the ones that attack people unprovoked. They are the ones that are shutting down any kind of conversation that could be had. And so the reaction that you are seeing is one of people that are tired of what's going on, and I understand completely. I don't condone it, of course, but I understand it completely.
Can you imagine? The logic of the left, imagine if the right applied it. That if whatever the left says, you're automatically an enemy and that you deserve to have your life taken from you. Can you imagine the state of civil war this country would be in? Given that what we've seen from the leftists, the messaging that has been amplified for years, they cheer on murders like this. They cheer and call for the death of the president of the United States, for the death of other conservative influencers. I just saw a video of a woman.
Hang on a second.
A black woman telling Candace Owens to be quiet with her white husband and her white kids because they'll be next.
People are so polarized. Even when you share the same skin color, even when you share the same sex, even when you share the same political party, these people still are so tribalistic and so divisive. If you don't think exactly like how they do, they will target you as well. Some despicable shit. Let's take a look at his live.
Threats, all of this stuff. We would play into that trap far too easily.
Welcome. Thanks for joining. We are going to go over quite a few things. The shooter was identified as I believe it was Tyler Robinson. He's in custody, and we're just taking a look at some reactions of other YouTubers right now and see what they're saying.
They have lost everything. The Democratic Party is in shambles. They have very little, if any, support whatsoever anymore. If we, in the middle or on the right, were to do what they did, we would lose the moral high ground. I know that's hard to hear for a lot of people that want blood, eye for an eye, but they've lost every bit of support. They have no ground to stand on. They've been exposed completely, totally naked out into society of how hypocritical that this party has become. I cannot foresee Democrats doing well in any general.
The thing is, they've been exposed time and time and time again. Look, we look at the past really the past 10 years, right? How they were attacking conservatives in the streets. And then not only that, but how Portland burned for 90 days, right? And how they were attacking even conservatives really that were defending themselves. They were attacking that, but they okayed the burning of Portland, right? And that's just some despicable shit, man. Right? That is the hypocrisy that, we're talking about.
Well in any general election for at least a decade until they somehow, if they manage to get rid of every single person that foments this kind of fascist language, radical ideology, the progressive radical wing inside the party, until the Democratic Party does a complete system wipe and bring in fresh blood with more moderate tone, they have no chance anymore. You are the party of murderers. You are the party of assassins. You are the party of extremists. You are the exact party you claim the conservatives and the Republicans to be. And they're not even perfect either.
Nobody is.
But the bullets do seem to be flying in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so, are we going to ask the questions? Who funds the Democrats? Who funds mainstream leftist media? Who propagates this messaging and the ideology on the campuses? And we need to start naming these names and holding them accountable.
Yeah, we already know who are doing these things, right? Is these oligarchies that have monopolized all of these industries and have essentially bought out. So one thing that I haven't really noticed a whole lot of YouTubers talking about are the uh multi-level marketing companies, right? And how they've been lobbying for a long time. I do know that Amway was actually one of the biggest lobbyists for the Republican Party in the 90s. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I do remember. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. And well, I mean, you could imagine the influence if they're spending millions and millions of dollars off, obviously, of siphoning and manipulating and deceiving a lot of their quote unquote IBOs. Well, I mean, not quote unquote. I mean, that's what they were. They were IBOs. I just say quote because they weren't independent business owners. They were being scammed, obviously. But you can imagine the influence that they had by taking the millions that they have garnered from those IBOs and then invested into the government. Obviously, they're going to have a fuck ton of more sway than the average Joe, right? And so, I mean, that's just number one.
Accountable. Just like we should hold accountable every single one of these disgusting pieces of shit who revel in the death of an innocent man who just dared to speak on a college campus. You are sick in the fucking head. You need medical intervention. The asylums must reopen and you need to be in a straitjacket. You are a danger to society. Let me continue with the super chats. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
I feel you, Bo. I really do, man. I really do. As a veteran who has seen this country tear itself apart because of the manipulation from all of these fucking piece of shit politicians and whoever it is that it's buying them off, I understand it. I really do. I understand your plight, buddy. And listen, this is the biggest reason why I started my YouTube was because I got sick and tired of how I was watching how I came back home from overseas and I was watching my fellow countrymen who I swore to protect with my very life should that have been the call, to see them tear each other apart because of the manipulation, because of the gaslighting from mainstream media, from the politicians that they vote into office, from seemingly every fucking direction, right? I got so sick and tired of it, and I got so sick and tired of just talking about what's going on in, my small groups, right? I decided to step out and be a voice. Because eventually I was also a victim of a multi-level marketing company, right? And I know I haven't done a whole lot of content over that, but oh boy. That needs to be talked about too. And so I'm watching of how all of this is going, and I understand it, man. Something has to be done.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll start catching up with the chat in a sec, guys. This was kind of an impromptu stream. I wasn't thinking of doing one, but I figured I'd get this out off my chest on live.
Yeah, same here.
Hell yeah, America. Thanks, brother. Came out. Dean Withers behind the scenes was telling his audience something else. So he acted crying fake for YouTube sentiments. I don't know if that's true. Find your way, band. Thanks for the 10, brother. Anyone notice that every single left-wing nut job, they are always unattractive loners? Mean literally every single one of them. Try and find one attractive, popular leftist, I dare you. Deadpool Kid, thank you, brother. Everyone who's celebrating this doesn't realize the immediate reaction and response coming their way when they're complying with video posts and messages altogether. Yes. Ratu, thanks again, brother. I'm not a big empath. These days, it's our own detriment as Western society. But as someone who's learned his mom's murder on the news, oh, geez. Sorry to hear that. Anyone trolling has never seen or felt violence. Yeah. Andrew Slam, thanks for the 10. One of them. This is as clear as day what's happening.
God damn it.
Side of geopolitics and Israel's involvement there. And nefarious sort of influence, I guess you could say. In that sense, you are literally destroying by propagating, it's always got to be Israel. It was Mossad. Bro, he got on the transponder, that transponder turned off, and in the airplane, he was gone. Tel Aviv, first stop. Stop. You sound like a fucking nut job. We're going to need more. It's the government, deep state, totally. They're high. Brother, what are you doing? Of all the things that we're trying to unravel here with undue influence and historical precedents being set and, like, hey, they bombed a ship and, hey, they did some other stuff and, hey, these people were dancing here and there and, hey, you start to name all these things, you're going to get the message muddled because now it's like, what else do they do, bro? Do they control the way the fucking earth spins too? Yeah? Do they make the moon go around the earth? Yeah, were they responsible for a fucking forest fire or some earthquake? Come on, bro. Enough with the low IQ conspiracy shit. Okay? That's my take on that. I'm no fucking fan, not even close. But geez, does a messaging like blame the Jews take hold in these low IQ individuals, and all of a sudden they see only like Jews are doing this. Jews, it's only Jews. Totally, bro. It's only them. It's only them. Everything is the fault. It rained today because it's them. Are you fucking kidding me? This is where we're at here.
Well, here's the thing. People are looking for someone to blame, right? They're looking for people to be angry about, right? So that's the thing. And so people are actively searching for reasons to be mad. Because obviously a lot of these people really love Charlie. I mean, and as far as I know, Charlie was a good guy, right? But, you've got bad actors in every party. You have bad actors in every group. And that's just how it always has been. That's how it always will be. So, but we absolutely have to stop this blame game. You know what I'm saying? We absolutely have to stop that. Because it's not helping anyone. It's only making us look bad.
Okay, bro. Do the Jews also lie down on fire? Buildings looted and burned. Cities quite literally were burning. Charlie Kirk got assassinated. And have you seen one single violent protest? One? Are there cars being turned upside down? Are buildings and cars on fire? Are there any situations like this happening I'm not aware of? If somebody knows in the chat, please tell me right now. Christian, thanks, brother. Bro, the clips of Irina getting murdered was disturbing enough. Charlie getting assassinated was just as shocking. Brother, like I said, seeing a man's head being kicked in the parking lot, this is not healthy for the brain. Opening X right now is like getting a shot of, what could you even call it? You know that meme where the guy's face is like, it's like his face is covered in black because he sees like absolute doom and dread. Like, that's me opening my Twitter account and seeing a man's fucking head being kicked all over the parking lot. And my face is that, just absolutely blacked out. It's hard to have restraint. It's hard to not let your emotions get to you and just fire with fire. I understand the anger you're feeling. I really do. Steve-O, thanks, brother. YouTube keeps refusing to send my message. As a black man, I can't even write anything critiquing other blacks that destroy society. Otherwise, it won't send. This is all I'm allowed to write. Thank you, Steve-O. or Steven. Kevin, thanks, brother. Didn't know if you saw Nick Fuentes' show last night, but he gave a beautiful elegy for someone he would consider his adversary. Everyone on the left must disavow loudly or be shamed. I agree, absolutely. Ryan, thanks, brother. Not every bad thing that happens is a conspiracy. By blaming everything on Mossad, the deep state CIA, you do cheapen the truth. I agree, 100%. And the truth is typically the simplest explanation. Occam's razor. Life is more boring than in reality than in the movies. I agree fully with that. I swear I'm missing some of these. There it is. Ryan, for
Well,
100.
you
Lord,
have,
forgive
well, you have, quite literally 1,400 people watching, so it's kind of hard to keep up with all of them. Thanks for joining. The shooter, Charlie's shooter, was found. He's in custody right now. Tyler Robinson is the name, and as of right now, we're just talking about restraint, really, because I think we're seeing a lot of videos around that are surfacing, and of course, it's gonna make us extremely mad, and we want something to happen. Initially, obviously, we don't want violence or anything like that, but it's just a gut feeling, right? That we have. It's this anger, right? You want to do something, right? But you can't. You absolutely can't. Like I've said before, the only time violence is acceptable is when you are forced to, right? For self-defense. Anything other than that, unprovoked violence, is not okay, right? Because when we start indulging, right, in becoming something that we're not supposed to be, we then become just like them, animals, right? And be no mistake, these people are absolutely animal. They are cheering for the death of a father and for the death of a husband. That is animalistic. Absolutely, it is 100%. Let me fix my camera here. It absolutely is 100% animalistic. I maybe because we have moral character, something that they don't. Maybe that's the case, but I can't wrap my head around someone cheering for the death of a man unprovoked like that. I really can't wrap my head around it. I honestly can't. It's sad times, man. Uncertain times, too. Absolutely uncertain times.
Ryan for the 100. Lord, for are becoming more and more common. If you plot them all on a graph and you look at the time are in their rooms all day, neon lights on Discord, extreme fucking Reddit threads, hyping themselves up to go kill the next public speaker they don't agree with. None of this would exist. But it does, and it will continue to get worse. Why? Because those factors, the radicalized messaging will continue to flourish. The destitution of our young people continues to grow. Our economic foundations are wobbly at best and crashing all around us. Our government keeps spending our fucking money nonstop on frivolous bullshit. We're supposed to have a conservative government. We raised the debt ceiling. We have $1 trillion in interest payments. We can't afford anything. Show me how a young person comes out of school today feeling like there's a way out. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
It seems as though there isn't.
Incredible. And people want to act shocked. How could this happen? Why is this happening?
That's one thing that look, here's the thing. We all understand what's going on. It's just that no one wants to do anything about it because we don't want to step out of line, right? Ever since we were children, we were raised to march in lockstep. And we all know this is why this phrase is so popular, right? The nail that sticks up gets hammered down. We don't want to get out of line. We don't want to get in trouble. I really hate that. We don't want to get in trouble. Well, guess what? Fuck that. I don't care about getting in trouble. I care about the truth. I care about what really matters. And what really matters is changing this culture because it's destroying itself. Let me check my audio again, make sure that we're good. Itself.
Our government keeps spending our fucking money, not
that we don't want to get in trouble. Well, guess what? Fuck that. I don't care about getting in trouble. I care about the truth. I care about what. No, okay, no, we're fine. I might decide. Actually, I think I'll turn that volume down just a little bit. Okay. All right. Think that'll be fine. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. We are talking a little bit about, restraint. You know, what recently happened. We got to hold back a little bit. I understand. We're all angry, rightfully so. And so, went over to Bo here. Probably going to go over to some other YouTubers and see what they say about it. So, buckle up. It's going to be a hard conversation.
Really? Do we have to fucking spell it out for you letter by letter? And come to somewhat understanding? There should be compromise from our side. I already saw the left stream media was saying that conservatives need to tone down the rhetoric. Conservatives need to turn down the rhetoric. Okay? They're already starting to gaslight.
Hang on, What was that? What was that, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this what people are really posting on X?
I don't even want to go look on X because you can't even scroll down without some absolute gore just coming your way. I mean, look at this, dude. I need to show you guys this. This is crazy. This guy has a 3D printer. Look at what these people do. And then Antunes says, we're fighting literal demons. You are not angry enough. This is funny to them. This is a joke. This is a fucking joke. Free shipping. This is how little they care about your life. And we're supposed to reach across the aisle and come to you.
There is absolutely no talking with these people. There is no more talk. None. You are never going to get through to these people. Look at this. Look at this disgusting shit. They are monetizing a tragedy. These people are sick. They are legitimate monsters. I haven't seen anything this bad. This bad. Holy fuck. I saw the videos of people dancing like morons on TikTok. But to see this shit right here, what the fuck, man? To see this right here, this angers me. This angers me to no end.
and come to somewhat understanding. There should be compromise from our side. I already saw the left stream media was saying that conservatives need to tone down the rhetoric.
Tone down,
Conservatives
right?
need to turn down the rhetoric.
Tone down the rhetoric. Right? Yeah. This right here. This is what we need to tone down. This right here. Yeah. Conservatives aren't doing this shit. Moderates aren't even doing this shit. Leftists are the only ones that are doing this.
Need to turn down the rhetoric. Okay, they're already starting to gaslight.
It's like
On
it's like a shit parent that tells you you are being bad for simply asking to eat. People are angry, they are rightfully so. Or excuse me, people are angry and rightfully so. And you have these scumbags that sit up at fucking CNN, write these dumbass reports. And they tell you you're the problem. Why are we not pointing the finger? Why are we all not pointing our fingers at the actual people that are doing this shit?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Try not to
Yep.
be. What the
It's
fuck?
I can't even scroll, dude. We'll get the stream taken down. Like you see,
You get
it
my
starts
stream
right
taken
away.
down.
I don't even know what that clip was with that kid, but there's so many. Anyways, let me just take it off this. That's it.
Dude.
Nas, thanks, brother. Been a fan of yours for almost 4 years. It's honestly crazy what's happening in the world. Yeah, it is. I just wanted to hop on, guys, and do a quick stream, and I'll chop this video up for you guys tomorrow. But I don't know what you could say about this society we have. It's kind of, we're sick. I'll read a couple more chats and then we'll call it. Thank you for tuning in, bud. Really stay safe out there. Tensions are unless the Republicans screw this up somehow, by the time the midterms roll around, they are done. They actively champion murdering people. Dudes, 100%. Thanks, brother. Just when you think we hit bottom, someone knocks from below. Yeah. It's insane.
Boy. Let's see if JD Delay is still alive. I cannot believe. Oh, okay. So he already ended his stream. But let's look at.
All right, you guys. So we have breaking urgent news. They have a suspect in custody in the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're not going to use the words killing or shooting. We're going to use the words assassination because that's exactly and entirely what this is. And before we get into this, I just want to state this. There's a lot of people who throw around words like fascist and like white supremacist and like Nazi at people. They're canonizing people towards violence and taking out somebody for their political opinion, for voicing opposition in a rational debate. Like, this dude was not a politician. This dude was not a lawmaker. This dude was not somebody who had any authority over any other human beings, but he was taken out 100% for his political.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. It's really not a whole lot to say at this point. I don't know if you found out, but they've already apprehended the suspect. identified him, and at least I know the president knows. He's for sure that this is the guy that did it. They named Tyler Robinson the guy that did it. I don't really like to use his name because he's a scumbag. So, but we were just over at Bo Refik's channel, looking at what he had to say, and now we're hitting up JD Delay. We're gonna go around to a few more YouTubers, and then I'm gonna call it myself. So,
percent for his political opinion. And taking out the opposition of your political opinion is one of the key defining traits of fascism. Every fascist leader in history has one common denominator, that they used violence, the threat of violence, or murder to silence their opposition. And that's exactly what happened here with Charlie Kirk. And I don't exactly believe the narrative that's being sold to us by the FBI. I don't believe it. We're going to get into this. We're going to look at this. I never want to tell you guys what to think. You are all intelligent, culpable, rational human beings who can decide what it is that you believe in every situation. What I like to do is I like to present the information. And yes, I'm not completely objective. I'm not completely unbiased. And I will give you guys my personal opinion in situations, right? But I don't want to ever tell you guys what to think. I do want to know what you think, because as much as I will share my opinion with you, and I hope maybe that you're open to hearing it, and maybe you'll say, oh, you know what? I do see some truth and some value in this. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And maybe you guys can share what you think and what you see. And between all of our eyes and between all of our beautiful minds, we can come together and we can see glimpses of a bigger truth. I fucking want that. I want to know what you guys think, because you guys, your opinions are just as valid as anything that I will ever say. Okay? I don't want to tell you guys what to think, but I do not believe the narrative that the FBI is selling us. And I'm going to get into why that is. Before I do this, will you guys let me know, is my audio okay? I had a little bit of an audio glitch with my main microphone, and I just want to know if you guys can hear me loud and clear, or if I need to make any adjustments. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. The audio is fine. Awesome. Let's jump into this. I have the news ready to go about this, so we are about to get to that.
Connected to the Charlie Kirk killing of a few days ago. The president just said this on Fox and Friends. I'll read the quote. I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Essentially, somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens, the president adds. He goes on to say, the tip stemmed from a minister, Trump says he believes, who passed the tip.
I do want to say the guy that turned him in, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate not just the service to Charlie and the family, but literally, quite literally, the service to the nation. Well done. Well done. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what beliefs you have, as long as they're not violent, of course. I appreciate you. You did good. Guys, we have to try and stay calm as much as possible. And we all have to come together. We all have to come together and stay as calm as possible. So if you ever need me for anything, please just let me know.
Believes, who passed the tip to a friend who was a U.S. Marshal. Then they involved the father of the suspect. We don't have an identity yet. We don't have a name of this suspect. President Trump himself saying that he learned of it just a few moments before he stepped on set. This is all taking place in the last couple of minutes. As you might imagine, this is a very fluid situation. Seems like the president himself was just briefed on this. There were some details he acknowledged he did not know. But to recap the breaking news, of course, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the conservative political commentator and organizer, shot in broad daylight on a college campus in Utah a couple of days ago. Video graphic went around the world very quickly. There's been an intensive manhunt for this suspect here. You're seeing the individual on your screen. These are images released by the police yesterday.
I'm seeing comments that I look blurry. I don't look blurry on my screen. Can you guys confirm that there's not something horrific going on that I'm just not seeing? I don't want to make you guys sit through something that's like terrible quality. I'm also seeing that people are saying not blurry. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'm also seeing people saying that he wanted the Epstein files released. Listen, you guys, there's certain stuff that I don't want to say online, but we're going to have to do it, man. We're going to eventually have to get there. Charlie Kirk within the last week had changed a lot of his stances and views on things that probably really pissed certain people off. And we're going to get into that. And some of it really involves Epstein, 100%.
As they they're imploring the public to come forward.
Another thing about this too is that it is too convenient that the survivors were just coming out about their stories, and this happens. It's way too convenient. I definitely believe that there's a connection, but we'll know in the future when everything comes out. I'm not going to comment too much on it because I don't want to get anything wrong. So, we have to. We always have to get out of emotion, take a step back, look at things from an objective perspective, and instead of immediately we have to be proactive, not reactive, right? And so let's make sure we get all of the information before we say or we do anything, because that is when the violence will start. That's when we get things wrong, and that doesn't do anybody any good, obviously. So, of course, again, I say this because I don't want anyone coming after me, obviously. But I do honestly believe that we shouldn't get violent at all. Only when it's necessary in self-defense. So.
Public to come forward with help, come forward with tips, with other information about this person. So now we're going to hear, I believe we're going to hear now what President Trump said just a few moments ago.
Before we get into what President Trump said, I really quick want to address a couple things. Doom Lavritria said, brrr, wood chipper. And then 39 or 69 420 ramen. Love you, Doom. I appreciate you. Red Custom Off-Road Shop, thank you so much, brother. Hey, dude, your Frenchie is absolutely gorgeous, man, and I'm loving the red beard. Another red-bearded brother. Big respect to you, man. Yo, would love to meet you someday. I'm just north of you. Or Salem, Portland, Seattle, somewhere up in those abouts. Maybe the Couve, perhaps. Love you, brother. That's a beautiful dog and a beautiful beard. I'm glad you're here with us this morning. Russell Paul Brady, love your content. Make pedophiles afraid again. It's strange you would say that, my friend, because we are wearing the Make Pedophiles Afraid Again hat today. Available at Bunker Branding if anybody is so inclined. It is at my merch shop, the same merch shop of the Unsubscribed podcast, the same merch shop of the the Demolition Ranch guys, and it's available right now. There's a link in my bio.
If the video is kind of stuttering every once in a while, I'm sorry about that, guys. I know that there's a little bit, at least this is what I'm seeing from my stream, is that there's quite a bit of an audio delay with the video, and I'm trying to fix that. Unfortunately, I don't have the best equipment to be doing this on, so I'm working with what I got, and so I just ask that you guys work with me here as I try to figure this stuff out, and because it's just me, I'm just trying to figure this out on my own. So, just bear with me, guys.
Right now, there's a link in my bio if you guys want to get a Make Pedophiles Afraid Again hat. Risen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. JS said, JD, I'm glad that this is even on the news here in the Netherlands. The whole world needs to know about this, and we need to all come together. Amen on that, bro, because dead serious. This is a serious act of fascism and brutality, and the world needs to know what's going on over here.
It is.
Red Custom said, thank you for your voice. I love you, brother. So glad to see you. Angie Love wants to know where my sunglasses are from. These are Spies. I usually either wear Spies or I wear Blenders by definition. Northern Glacier work, and they'll all know me. Hearing this press conference turned him in. So
everyone did a great
bullshit. But I will say this. I fucking understand. I'm not personally going to participate in it, but I understand.
I think
Yeah.
with a high degree of certainty, we have him.
I don't
We're in
think,
custody. Okay?
again, I don't think any of us should be participating in any violence. Again, unless it's for self-defense. Sorry about that. And so just remain calm as much as possible. I will keep saying that all the way throughout the stream. Remain calm, remain calm, remain calm. As soon as we lose our self-control, we lose our freedoms, because then we devolve into absolute animals, and absolute madness happens after that.
We're in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. Getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant.
Welcome. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you're doing good and having a great day.
That was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work is...
Real quick, can you let me know if my audio is fine? I just want to make sure that we're still good. And let me know if there's a delay. Do you happen to see a delay at all? I'd greatly appreciate the help.
Been done over the last 2.5 days. It's amazing actually when you start off with that, and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Lucky or talent? Can we just say that, like, his dad reportedly turned him in? So I would lean more towards somebody did the right thing rather than luck or talent. Yeah, Newt, you are fucking gone. Fuck everything you're about. Thank you guys for alerting me to the troll in the chat. Fuck that shit. Yeah, it was his dad that turned him in. So how is he taking
Oh, really?
for that? Other than them, I mean, like, so let's be real. They did put out the photos of him, but that's like bottom of the barrel fucking policing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had pictures, so they released the pictures, and then dude's own dad turned him in.
He's in custody.
That was
Yeah,
President
that's-
Trump just a few moments ago.
That's something I've been thinking about too. They had all look at this. They had all of that information. They should be able to identify him just on this picture alone, and yet they somehow weren't able to. And it took this piece of shit's dad to turn him in before he was brought into custody. What the fuck is going on? Dude, I can guarantee you if this was the other way around, this motherfucker would have been caught, rightfully so, within a fucking day. but it took the FBI. And it didn't even take the FBI. His dad turned him in. Bro, come on. Dude, our justice system is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Listen, they have software out there that if I remember correctly can record you even if you are offline. Can track you even if you are offline. And they couldn't find this guy. They couldn't identify this guy. It's absolute horseshit.
President Trump just a few moments ago on Fox and Friends. He's here in New York City, appearing in studio just across the street, saying with a high degree of certainty, quoting him, that they have the suspect in custody, but we don't know who this person is. We believe at 9 o'clock Eastern time, so about 40, including the nickname of the Washington Commanders football team, but we'll bring it to you if he says anything else. But to recap, just a few moments ago, President Trump, in a media appearance, said that a suspect in custody, no identity yet, certainly no sense of motive just yet, but it appears Ken Dilanian is joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent. So, Ken, I'll come to you with this. It appears that the decision by the law enforcement sense of motive just yet, but it appears
We lose the best equipment to be doing this, but I do honestly believe
There's certain stuff that I don't want to say online, but we're gonna have to do it, man. We're gonna eventually.
yeah, there's a massive audio delay, and I don't know how to fix that. It took me moving a mountain to try and figure out how to even connect OBS to YouTube. So, you know, I am trying super hard here, guys. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Hey, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're having a great day. Is my audio fine? I want to make sure that my audio is okay. And there's a delay for some weird reason. And so I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that. So if you happen to see any audio delay issues, just let me know.
Decision by the law enforcement in Utah to go public with these images is paid off.
But he would allow you to speak. He would listen to you, and then he would return his
Yeah,
ideas.
there's still a delay.
And he would do it on college campuses. Now, let me tell you this. A college campus is supposed to be about ideas and education. It's not supposed to be an echo chamber for liberal fucking nonsense. It's not supposed to be some pussy-ass safe space. A college campus should be a place where you learn ideas and how to think critically for yourself, not be indoctrinated and trained to accept narratives that don't make sense in fucking reality.
So I was actually recently in college. Actually, yeah, last semester I had dropped out for mental health reasons, from my PTSD, and I will say the absolute indoctrination is baffling. I mean, it's just absolutely insane at how much they try to gaslight you. And if you do not do the research on your own, outside of the textbooks that they have you spend an entire fucking fortune on, then you are very susceptible to the re-education, right? Or the education, I think is a better way to say it, that they are, trying to shove down your throat. A college is supposed to be a place where people exchange ideas, right? And have civil discourse. And that's just not it. You know, that's it. That's just not what's happening right now. You know, people are so at each other's throats. Absolutely ridiculous.
Fucking reality. For them to silence him through assassination is one of the most fascist actions that we have had in this fucking country. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Dre Light. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for coming in here in Modern. I know this is a big ass fucking live right now, and I know that you're in here swinging, bro. Thank you so much for coming in so early, man. I appreciate you, and I love you, big dog. Another said, "Oh, Bella, ciao, Bella, ciao, Bella, ciao, ciao, ciao," which could be a reference to Bella Ciao, an Italian song dedicated to those who fought against fascism in World War II. So, look, I think that we've got the whole that this dude had Antifa leanings, because this is Antifa dog whistles. Now, here's where I think that I was, the reports that we got was a little bit off base, because there wasn't actually LGBTQ rhetoric so much as the dude wrote on the third shell casing, "If you're reading this, you are gay, LMAO." He took the time to write, "If you're reading this, you are gay, LMAO," on one of the shell casings. That is fucking wild, dog. That is fucking wild. That he would be making jokes and levity and trolling in this situation is just fucking weirdo behavior. I don't get it.
Dude knew what he went to go and do, and he's making a show of it. I mean, that just goes to show you that, it just goes to show you how devoid of anything that it means to be human this guy is. Oh man, he has definitely earned the death penalty. For sure. For sure. Bro.
Don't get it. Brickhouse said, "I can't imagine having to hand your son of 22 years over to the authorities when they already publicly said they'll be pursuing the death penalty." That's real as fuck, man. I can't, as a father, it's so hard to wrap my head around. Enzo Matrix said, "It's been reported that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, is a registered nonpartisan, and both of his parents are registered Republicans." Well, let me explain this. Because clearly he's gone down this left pipeline, just from what we read on the shell casings, to think that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi and a fascist. Clearly, he may have been registered as a nonpartisan. But a lot of the times, and I don't know if you're a parent, Enzo, but when you have a kid, during periods of their life, they rebel against what the parents want, because it's part of creating your own identity is separating yourself from your parental entities. So if somebody is parents are staunch Christians, oftentimes they will go atheist. If somebody's parents are staunch Republicans, oftentimes they'll go liberal. And then once they find themselves, and it's less of a rebellion, an act of rebellion, and they actually find who they really are, then that's when they really start to identify as who they really are. So I think it's pretty obvious where this dude's head was leaning at from what was written on the shell casings. Ozark, what's up, man? Loving your son is right, but allowing him to do wrong is also not right. Love does not overpower the obligation to do the right thing. He's a good dad. Ozark, well spoken, man. Love you, brother. Dalton said, "Dad turning his son in seems like him taking responsibility for his family." Absolutely. We have to police our own.
Yeah.
Plasma Owl said, "People who cry."
That's a really, really good point. Listen, this is something I've been thinking about too. As a parent, you are responsible for how your children turn out. right? So that's why correct parenting is astronomically important. And kudos to the dad for turning him in. I couldn't imagine the disgust, the pain at what you saw maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, depending on how old this guy is. I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't. I really couldn't. Turning your own son over like that, knowing he had just committed one of the most tragic cases of political violence that we had ever seen in our lifetimes. But this is also why, as parents, we have to absolutely be as careful as possible when we are raising our children. Absolutely. So, yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and skip quite a bit.
I can't speak for God, but I'd say it's a pretty fucking good chance that he's sitting courtside right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? His face. That they called him a racist. They called him a white supremacist. They called him a fascist. They called him a Nazi. Until somebody went out and murdered him, assassinated him brutally in front of his wife and kids and the entire world. And they made a force that they are not prepared to deal with by doing so. Kevin said they unalived the one guy willing to have the conversation with them.
Yep.
Exactly.
That is what happened.
For being the embodiment of American values, love from Sweden, love right back to you, and love to all of you in Sweden. Thank you for standing with us during this time. Andy said Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, and kids were present at the Utah Valley University and were in the courtyard during the shooting. Things will be turning in a huge way. Much love. And much respect to Erica and the kids, man. Much respect to them. Hicka, thank you so much for the support. Bye, Felicia said, thank you, Dre, for being here. Dre is a gangster, man. Dre is a G. Dre shows up, bro. Dre shows the fuck up for this community, for all of us. Joseph said, I cried in my wife's arms the other day. I couldn't accept it. I didn't realize the massive impact he had on my life. I pray he is saved and with our Lord. Well, I
all of our lives, because he represented discourse. That's the reason. Say what you want about him, right? I didn't agree with a lot of what he said, but you know, he represented discourse because he was pretty much the only one at a point in time, definitely most recently, to go and reach across the aisle and talk with people who didn't agree with him. And now that's gone. And so there is no more discourse. There is no more talk at this point. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate and so sad that our country has turned into what it is. That people would kill someone over an idea.
our Lord. Well, I can't speak for God, but I'd say it's a pretty fucking good chance that he's sitting courtside right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? His faith was hugely important to him, and he was virulent in speaking out about it. And Jackson and I have been kind of shook up over here too, so you're not alone. AJ, Lee Harvey Oswald, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I believe Mossad is behind due to Kirk's recent change of opinion with respect to Israel. I didn't say it, YouTube. I was just reading the super. I didn't say it with my mouth. I was just reading a super chat. I'm going to be presenting some evidence in a full length. Not only that this wasn't a lone gunman, but also...
I didn't say it either. I didn't say it either. So don't come after me either. That was a super chat.
Presenting evidence that might back what was just said by AJ. You're a smart dude, bro. Alpha Dragon Gaming. Getting late to the live stream, but wanted to say hi. The last 2 days have been a whirlwind. I may not agree with everything you say, but as Reagan said in short, you are my 80% ally, not my 20% enemy. Keep speaking the truth. That is how I feel about so many people. That is how I feel. Thank you for saying that. I've never heard that quote from Reagan before, but that is how I feel about so many people. I love you, brother. Thank you. Beautiful beard. Fucking A. AS said, JD, thank you for being unapologetically you. Thank you for appreciating that, dude. What a huge compliment. The celebrating makes me question.
Listen, we need to find, and I think I'll say this before I hop off. We need to find, we need to look for common ground instead of looking to find difference. Right? That's number one. Number two, at the same time that we should be looking to find common ground, we also shouldn't compromise ourselves. And so be unapologetically yourself. As long as you're not hurting anyone. As long as you're not compromising who you are. Or again, compromising someone else, but I just said that. I'm not going to be redundant. We need to bring love back into this fucking country. We need to look to love someone, not look to hate someone. Yeah. Well, I'm going to sit here. I want to talk with you guys. Let me bring myself up here. It's been a sad few days. That's for sure. It definitely has. So, as sad as it is, please make sure that you are with your loved ones, your friends, because what happened to Kirk and what happened to Irina and what happened to the children in Minneapolis and all of those before, things can happen in an instant. So cherish the time that you have with your friends and family. And again, please do not let your emotions get the better of you. If you need someone to talk to, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to talk with you. We all feel how we feel about the situation. It sucks. That's true. It does. But we absolutely cannot let ourselves divulge into violence. We can't let it happen. So, whatever helps you to calm down, please do that. I know one of those things for me is gym and music. And so I'm definitely going to go to the gym. I'm going to go and come back and get some music going. We need a break from social media every once in a while. We just need a break from what's going on. And so just make sure you're taking a break, you know, as Locos Tacos with the questionable series of numbers said. Take a break. Take a breather. Calm down. Think with a level head. Do not get emotional. Or try not, you're going to get emotional. Try not to get overly emotional. So, just take care of yourselves. Both mind and body. Take care of each other, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. I know I said I was going to do a little bit more, but my body's really starting to hurt, and I gotta take it. I gotta take off. So again, if you need me for anything, just please reach out. I love you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So wish you all a lovely day. Bye, guys.